A new week on the PGA Tour, the CJ Cup Byron Nelson, as we break down for you here on this Tuesday morning on the early line on SportsGrid, of course, with our guy Keith Stewart. Joins us here on TEL to get you ready for this event just north of Dallas, Texas. Keith, as always, we appreciate the time. Thanks for being here.
Ben, Donnie, good morning. Take me out to TPC Craig Ranch in Dallas. Let's get this thing done.
The CJ Cup Byron Nelson, not to be confused with the Charles Schwab Challenge, which is at Colonial, both events in the greater Dallas-Fort Worth area. Keith, let's start with the odds board. Donnie will ask you about the course, I am sure, and a couple of native Texans with the shortest prices, but a disparity in just how short those numbers are. Jordan Spieth has the second best price at 18-1. Scottie Scheffler in the field this week at plus 280. There is no doubting the acumen on a golf course of Scottie Scheffler, Keith, but plus 280 when everybody else is 18-1 or greater. Make it make sense for us, pretty please.
Ben, I'm not sure if I can make it make sense. I'm going to have to fade Scottie this week. And the main reason why is that two of the skills that you need to really have here with sincere acumen are approach play, especially with your long irons. Hey, Scottie has that superpower hands down, but you also have to be great with the flat stick. You got to be a flat stick aficionado. And I think that's where Scottie kind of pulls himself back to the pack. I'm not quite sure that he'll be able to make the amount of birdies that are necessary. I mean, we played now here at TPC Craig Ranch for 4 days. The average winning score was just below 25 under par. Can Scottie make? He'll have that many opportunities. Don't get me wrong. Can he make that many birdies? I'm not quite sure he can. And I love the middle.
Keith, we're having some audio issues for just a moment. We'll have you back on the show in just a matter of time, I am sure. But DRS, Scottie Scheffler, plus 280. Now, we don't know the intricacies of TPC Craig Ranch, but we do know betting handicapping. Plus 280 for an outright price, needing 4 rounds of great golf to win an event. That's just an unbettable number, even with Scottie Scheffler.
Scheffler against the field is what it feels like it is right now at this point, and you need an unbelievable performance just to win any golf tournament and edge out like 50, 60, 70, 80 golfers at that one time. But Keith is back with us here because you take a look at the course management of a player like Scottie Scheffler. No matter if it's the Masters or he's showing up to a U.S. Open or just a regular PGA Tour event, he seems to have those advantages. But Keith, tell us a little bit about this golf course at TPC Craig Ranch, about 7,400 yards. What's the expectations and how this golf course will hold up this weekend?
Donnie, the expectation this week is that you have to go low. The 4 editions that they've had here, the average winning score is just under 25 under par. Vegas has set the line on the over-under for the winning score at 22.5 under par. The conditions so far this week, we've seen some wet weather, and we're going to see some more rain during the tournament. The greens themselves are going to be receptive. They're going to be soft. These guys are going to be able to score at will, and that's something that you're going to need to be able to do. And that's why I was fading Scottie earlier before I got cut off. I don't know that he can make that many putts and keep up with some of these guys who are just about equal with him, certainly on approach, but obviously better with the flat stick. And I think that at that short number with Scottie, you got to look further down the board. I mean, this place, absolutely, the guys were scoring here at will, so they added 155 yards of length to the golf course on 5 different holes. They're trying to beef this place up. They have narrowed some fairways. They have created some chipping areas just off the green with some closely mown areas. They're doing what they can, but I'm not quite sure it's going to hold these guys back.
Keith, a winning score of over under 22.5. That is a birdie fest. So we've seen Keith's keys. Let's get those early leans on the early line. If we are fading Scottie Scheffler based on play and or price, who are we keeping an eye on this week at TPC Craig Ranch?
Well, I'm celebrating a 1-year anniversary of taking Taylor Pendrith last year at 100-1. So I'm looking way down the board and going to have some fun this week over there at Craig Ranch. The first guy I'm looking at, Jake Knapp. Last year, he was 8th here after 4 rounds. 3rd at the Zurich just last week in the team event. Great on approach this spring. Great with the putter. The perfect combination. And he's got plenty of length. I mean, this place, 7,500 yards and change. As I mentioned, they added 150 yards. We're going to need some ball speed. And then the second guy, you mentioned Charles Schwab Challenge earlier, Ben, right? Davis Riley won there last year at 350-1. Well, he's 120-1 this week to win there at the CJ Cup Byron Nelson. Kind of just rolls off the tongue. The CJ Cup Byron Nelson. Anyway, I digress. Davis Riley, right? The guy's a birdie machine. Another one with the approach play, with the putter. He's been very hot lately this spring. The way he led into Charles Schwab and the Colonial last year is similar to how he's been playing this spring. Those are my two early leans on the early line.
Let's get down the depths here. Give me a look at my guy Bo Hostler here, 120 to 1 on the FanDuel Sportsbook right now. I mean, can we go to the depths here that you think somebody can play really well in this tournament and cash a big ticket here, Keith?
Well, you know, Bo Hostler, Donnie, is pretty darn deep, but I'm going to give you another name, Sammy Valimaki, and he's right in that range himself, right? Sammy Valimaki is top 5 in the field on approach, and he's also makes a ton of birdies. This guy loves to go low. He did it in Houston. He's been doing it all over the tour this spring. You remember last year he was runner-up at the Mexico Open. That's a bomber's paradise where you got to make a ton of birdies as well. This course fits Sammy Valimaki. He is purely in that Taylor Pendrith kind of mold that I loved last year. And if you look at my whole card at Read the Line, it's a bunch of bombers that have great long iron play and can absolutely fill up the cup with the putter.
Bo Hostler, a Texas Longhorn as well. And Keith, we are firmly into that major portion of the PGA Tour schedule. We're just a few weeks away from the PGA Championship. What's the process like as you're looking at these golfers trying to fine-tune their game to get ready for golf's second major of the year?
Well, Ben, you bring up a good point. This is a tough spot on the schedule for the Byron Nelson. You know, a legendary event. It's been around for 71 years, and they can't get anyone to play in this. And the reason being is that next week I'll be down in Philly for the Truist. That's a signature event. We've got 2 majors and 3 signature events in the next 7 weeks. We're going to play the PGA Championship down at Quail Hollow, and then we're going out to Pennsylvania and Pittsburgh and Oakmont for the U.S. Open. It's going to be fast and furious for the next 7, 5 of which have elite fields. I can't wait to be with you guys for all of them.
Quail Hollow in Charlotte, the site of the 2025 PGA Championship. But the Truist Championship next week at the Philadelphia Cricket Club. Keith and DRS hanging out live on site for a signature event
later in the day.
Maybe, just maybe. More on the early line next.